Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and this is your weekend astrology report and your weekly uncut for the weekend of June 9th through the 10th, and then we're going to be doing the uncut for the 11th through the 15th. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for being a part of futurelife.tv. I truly appreciate it. Well, we have a lot going on this week. This weekend is a kickoff into this week that has a new moon in it. There's a lot going on this week, and we are on the last week before we jump into a whole nother season. I know, seasons just pass and go, don't they? Well, the first thing is this weekend. The moon in Aries, fired up, a Martian-ruled energy. And of course, what is Mars in? It is in Aquarius. People stuff. Unpredictable things. It's on the South Node. Woo! So talk about an exciting moon in Aries. Or crazy one. This Saturday, the moon is going to be square in Venus. It's going to be sextiling Mercury. It's got a lot going on. How do we react to things? Emotionally, with our projects, our relationship, our money? How do we feel about our money? Do we feel comfortable there? What do we feel like emotionally we need to move forward with? What about our relationships? Our partnerships? How do we emotionally deal with that stuff? What do we need to confront and deal with emotionally? This is Mercury in Gemini, which is sextiling it to communicate, to think a lot about. Sun, of course, in Gemini. A lot of energy, a lot of processing, but also a lot of energy because Mercury is flying as fast as it can in its home sign of Gemini. The winged messenger is flying fast, so there is a lot of energy right now, moving fast. And when you have this much energy moving fast, sometimes it's hard to deal with these emotions without thinking a little bit and reacting to them and dealing with things. So this brings up conflict because there's a little bit of a T-square with a moon squaring Pluto, squaring Venus. Ooh, man. Definitely changing the structure of our relationships, how we go forward with relationships. Projects, how we deal with our money, trying to get our shit together with that. And you know, all the things that we have to react with differently or identify with differently. Also, when you think about this whole scheme of things, right? Saturn, which has been aspecting this North Node, you know, there's a lot of pressure on our direction in our life to be happy. I'm going to continue with that into the week report, but if we look at Sunday, things chill out a little. Just with the vibration of emotionally finding a handrail somewhere with the moon in Taurus where it's exalted, finding some grounding, but the moon, of course, is passing over Uranus now in Taurus. This is the first time we have felt that. So this is going to really bring up all this Uranus-Taurus stuff about a better life. What's the best for us? What's important to us? What do we want to create and build? The new vibrations that we need to bring in our life to get rid of certain stubborn parts of ourselves and parts of ourselves where we need to be more stubborn. To raise higher. It's a complicated mess. Especially when it's all happening during Gemini time where it's like, you know, you're this person and then you're that person. You know, it's like, oh my God, you can be this person and then change over here. And then your mind's tripping on everything. And then remember, Mars is on the South Node in Aquarius, activating tons of rage, intensity, passion. And this is a bunch of bowl of soup. Oh my gosh. At least we try and find some handrails on Sunday, and there is somewhat of a chill with the moon in Taurus, but with the sun and Mercury flying through Gemini, definitely not just a chill time. You remember Jupiter's retrograding in Scorpio. I mean, we are in intense signs. Saturn's in its own sign of Capricorn. The nodes are in Leo and Aquarius, extremely dramatic signs. This is definitely not a boring time. This is definitely a lot of life in your face and how you deal with it. Here you go. Here's every little thing at once. Here you go. Yeah. What a weekend, right? As we come into the week, I would say that the slowest day of the week would be Monday. That's because the balsamic moon is here, the dark moon in Taurus. And this dark moon in Taurus is making good aspects coming into Monday. So it's not the worst one, but it's definitely a moment of reflection and getting ready to change gears as a new moon is happening this week in Gemini at 22 degrees. And we also have Mercury, which will be finishing in Gemini. which is good. There's going to be a lot of ideas. Things have been moving fast this week, but Mercury will jump into Cancer. And with Mercury jumping into Cancer, while Venus is finishing in Cancer, it's kind of interesting to see these two doing this. The reason why is because, well, number one, this brings up moods. This brings up how we deal with our emotions. But instead of just reactive ones, this deals with all of them. We kind of become a little touchy-feely. And of course, Mercury, when it's in Cancer, is starting to think about breaks, or wanting to think about vacation, or wanting to think about things that can pull us away from all that heavy work that will not go away with Saturn retrograding still in Capricorn. And remember, by the end of this week, Mercury will start to oppose Saturn, which can be a little bit of a Debbie Downer, but at the same time, it can also structure you to focus more of your life and not let your moods pull you away, or this need to, take off or leave, work, or things that gotta get done. That's the whole part of Saturn and Capricorn. And what else is going on this week? Venus, with this new moon, right? It's leaving Cancer at the last degrees. I mean, there's a lot of moods. This is making sure that we get our feelings right in relationships and projects. Money situations. Where are we going to feel comfortable here? Then it's going to jump into Leo, where it's real hot and real happy and wants to shine and wants to feel awesome. But it's coming into a big square with Uranus now in Taurus. This is definitely like, oh, okay, if I'm going to feel good, what's missing? What don't I have? Because whenever you mix Leo and Taurus, the only way for Leo and Taurus to be happy is when they have it. Not when they don't have it. That's the whole point. Trust me, I'm born with Leo Taurus in my chart, and I'm born with Venus Leo. If I don't got it in my life, I'm not really happy until I get it. And that's Uranus trying to find some crazy ways to get more money, to get more physical things, to get more spiritual things that you want to feel in order to be happy. But you're going to try new things, you're going to have to go new directions, you're going to have to deal with new energy. We got a lot of Uranus-Taurus stuff going on this week. This is the first time we've ever felt in our lives, unless you were born and raised and you were awake during the 30s. A lot of people really don't even remember that, even if you're very young, to be kind of consciously aware of vibrations like this. And so, this week's a major one because it's on a new moon, a dark moon, then a new moon. Venus moving into Leo, Mercury moving into Cancer. This switches the personal planets extremely. So our personal energy goes from wanting to feel really happy, but are our moods right? And do we have, or what do we not have, that causes us to not be fully happy? That's some big questions there. That's a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross to figure out. And of course, this Mars energy ain't going nowhere. Stopped pretty much. We're getting ready for Mars retrograde, so it's only going to go one more degree after this, because on June 26th it's going to retrograde. 25th, depending on where you are too. So Mars is stopping, and that kind of puts us all in this place of, man, I feel like I got to get everything going, especially this week where it's like, this is missing, and this is what I need with money, and this is what needs to change in this relationship, and this is what I need more feeling-wise in myself to feel better, and it becomes almost too much. And of course, in Sun and Gemini, it's just trying to figure out how to deal with it all. Trust me, the Gemini mind is got a calculator and it's got a billion numbers to put in, so it's definitely not bored. It's definitely not like it's like pondering the questions of life, even though that's probably the biggest equation we've ever tried to figure out. You don't even got time for that. You got too many other things you got to get to before you can even get to some of the things maybe you want to in your life. That's another thing that pops up, is realizing I got to do this to get to there, 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 just to get that done, and then I got to do this and this and this and this and this just to get to there. That's when you deal with a lot of Mercury and Uranus, and it's just like, wah! So I think by the end of this week, especially with Mercury starting to come into opposition with Saturn and Venus squaring Uranus, and then of course Venus is now entering this T-square of Mars, Uranus, right? There's a lot of pressure on how to feel good in our lives this week. What's going to make us feel better? What is going to make us feel good? And what is it that we need? What is it that we don't have? How do we deal with our moods? How do we not think that, how do we not put into our mind, if I just leave this situation, or if I leave this, work, or if I just leave this spiritual work, that I'll be alright. I'll be able to get, No, then you're going to go create 50,000 other problems that you're fucking not going to want to deal with. Trust me on that one. Especially during this time. Maybe later, but not right now. Definitely not right now. Mars in Aquarius, especially in the South Node, is bringing up, in order to get what you want, there is a lot of crazy people, connections, dots, and that you got to try and find a way to all sync together. And it's definitely one of those times for you to really sit back. And that's hard during this time. There is not a lot of grounding. A moon in Taurus, which is going to give us some handrails Sunday, Monday, and right before the new moon Tuesday, and that's about it. Then, of course, the moon's going to be in Gemini for a new moon. Gemini, new moon. Come on, folks. Sun and moon in Gemini is definitely not a grounded vibe. And if you look around the zodiac, there's not a lot of grounding anywhere. So, sure, we got Pluto and Saturn. But at the end of the day, the Sun and Mercury and all this stuff going on, all these other aspects going on, kind of, I guess your only anchor, which I look at Saturn as in Capricorn, is, what's your long-term goal? And as long as everything, no matter fucking how crazy the tornado looks, as long as it's still pointing in that direction, you're fine. That's the grounding. The grounding is as long as it's still pointing towards your red direction that you've told the universe, due north, due south, east, west, wherever that is in your life. As long as it's fucking going there somehow, you'll be alright. Even if it looks like a fucking tragic mess, or even if it looks like deep in yourself that you feel like something's missing, you've got to find the connections and the dots to go acquire. What do you think Taurus is about? Building it. Creating it. With Uranus there, it wants to help. But it's saying you got to try new things. You got to have the right connections. You got to learn how to deal with people. And there's a lot of Venus stuff. A lot of relationship crazy stuff this week. So definitely put your relationship, protector on. And just know that there's a lot of crazy stuff going on this week. At the end of the day, we're getting ready for next week with the season change and the sun coming into Cancer, and getting ready for Mars, which is getting ready for its retrograde. And almost by the time we're coming to the end of the next report, we'll be talking about the last week of Mars direct. Anyway, thank you for all the support. I truly appreciate it. Hope you guys have been doing well out there. Also, starting this week, coming on Monday, Tuesday, readings for all the practitioners on Future Life are going down to $149 for 30 minutes. So if you want to book some sessions, I'm unavailable at the moment because I'm touring, but there are some amazing readers on there. Tarot, astrology, lifestyle, health, everything, relationship readings. We brought it down to $149 for 30 minutes. You can book at futurelife.tv. Thanks so much for all your support. Truly appreciate it. I will see you all on Monday.